I've put 30,000 miles on my 2024 Tesla Model Y over the past 27 months of ownership. And there's one huge mistake I made on day one that caused irreversible damage to my Tesla. It's the paint. People warned me about the paint. I totally blew it off. I've owned tons of cars in the past and I've never had a problem with the paint being an issue, but I totally underestimated just how fragile Tesla paint is. I'll show you how I'm gonna fix it DIY style, and I'm gonna go through what I love about this car, what I wish was better, and then we'll look at the dollars and cents. How has maintenance and cost of ownership for this car tracked against my other Volkswagens? Let's get into it, and I'll walk you through my complete 30,000 mile ownership history of my beloved Blue Racer 2024 Tesla Model Y. And before we get started, if you find this content helpful, please like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. Subscribing costs you nothing and it does help my small and growing channel, and I really appreciate it. And let's start with a bit of a history lesson. I owned a 2013 Volkswagen Passat that I honestly really loved, and I owned it since new in April of 2013. And I knew it was getting time to move on here in February of 24, but I was holding on to the Volkswagen for my daughter, who was going to turn 16 soon and get her driver's license. And on a whim, I went down to the Tesla store in Warminster just to take them for a test drive. I had never driven a Tesla before. I wanted to see how they drove, and candidly, as a big guy, I wanted to see if I'd even be comfortable on the inside. So I went down there and arranged a couple of demo drives, and within the first mile of driving that refreshed Model 3, I was hooked, and I knew that this was the car for me. Tesla was it. The driving experience, the low center of gravity, how it handled really well, the immediate acceleration and responsiveness, I was absolutely in love. So I texted my wife from the parking lot and said, you know what? I think I want one. That night at the dinner table, we placed the order on my iPhone, and the next day, Tesla worked some magic to make sure I could pick up the car on my birthday. And their extra mile to make sure I could get the car I wanted on my birthday meant so much to me. Now, I chose the Model Y at the time over the 3, even though the 3 was refreshed and the Y was not, because the Y has that hatchback utility, and I just really need that for my daily grind. And before I get into the numbers, I want to talk about reasons why I love my Tesla Model Y. Beyond the responsiveness and handling, I really love just the perfect integration of this vehicle. The way that the app is fully integrated into the car, so you can just precondition, you can control the whole car on your app, you communicate with service that way. The way that you just park the car and walk away, it locks itself and everything by itself. The way you just get in and go, there's no key, there's no start button, there's no parking brake to worry about. It's just so simple, seamless, and effortless, and I love it. And then there's the safety and the tech. Safety is really important to me. I have a family, and safety, people call me safety man because I'm always looking to make sure, are we doing this the right way and are we being safe? Tesla is consistently rated one of the safest cars you can buy in America. That means so much to me. The way it handles in crash tests and the way it has its driving assistance, its FSD, all of that, the way it works together to prevent accidents and keep you safe in an accident, that means a lot to me, and that's a huge reason why I bought my Tesla and why I love it. And we can't forget about the fact that Teslas get better as you own them. What other car does that? This car did not have adaptive matrix headlights when I bought it. It didn't have satellite radio when I bought it. There's a number of other features that it didn't have, and Tesla added them for free over the air while the car was parked right here on my home Wi-Fi in the driveway. That is just fantastic. I haven't owned any other car, and I've had 13 cars total in my life. I haven't owned any other car that's picked up additional features for free after I left the showroom. So that's been really, really cool, and one of the parts of Tesla ownership that I love. And of course, there's the utility. You just can't beat the practicality of a hatchback. Now, while I would love to have more of a square back shape like our Tiguan, and we're looking at you, Rivian R2, I do say we have tons of room back here. You can fold the seats down and just cram it full of luggage for road trips. You can, go to BJ's or Costco and just load it up. We haven't had a problem at all stuffing this thing full of IKEA furniture, Home Depot, Hall, you name it. This thing has carried it all, and it's been fantastic. One last thing I need to mention when I'm talking about all the reasons why my Model Y is excellent is that it's the most American-made car you can buy today. That is fantastic for me. Even my Passat, I made sure I got a Volkswagen that was manufactured in America, and I'm so thrilled to be driving my Tesla, made in Austin, Texas, also made in Fremont, California, one of the most American cars on the road. And it's not just about the hardware. Unlike gas and diesel, which depend heavily on foreign oil markets and foreign crude imports, the vast majority of electricity in America is generated from fuel produced domestically. So whether it's solar, nuclear, wind, hydro, natural gas, you name it, the huge majority of the fuel used to power my car is coming from right here in America. And I just love the sense of supporting the American economy and American workers, not just with my car, but also with the fuel that powers it. Now let's talk numbers. Reliability, right? Has this car ever left me stranded? Not even one time. Hasn't even broken down, but I have had 11 service visits. People often say that EVs don't require any maintenance. You just get in and drive, and while that's largely true, every car can have issues, and there are still things that can go wrong. Now, 3 of my 11 visits were for state safety inspections here in Pennsylvania, which are mandatory. The others were for individual issues like the rear seat buttons that fold the seats down. I had a 2-visit diagnostic and repair for a broken seat heater and a 2-visit fix for failed adhesive on my front fog light. Plus, I had a recent wheel vibration that needed to be sorted out. Now, part of the reason why I had so many service visits for this car compared to my others isn't necessarily because this had more issues than the others, but it's because I didn't have any other reason to go to the dealer. So with the Volkswagens or with any fossil car, you have a built-in frequency of going to the dealer. You have to get oil changes, you have to get the 4-wheel drive system serviced, you have to do a coolant flush, whatever they recommend. You're going back there a couple times a year, 3-4 times a year to get that done. So as you have small issues crop up, well, like I did with my Volkswagen over the years, you just wait until you're going back to the dealer. So if I have a seat heater that's on the fritz, if I have a seat folding button that doesn't work, I just wait. I'm going to go back there anyway, and I'm going to get it taken care of. But with Tesla, that's just not the case. Tesla dealers don't do state inspections here in Pennsylvania, and they also don't have any maintenance intervals. This car has no scheduled maintenance interval. There's no oil change to worry about. There's nothing to go to the dealer for. So when I have issues crop up, I tend to just schedule them ad hoc, onesie-twosie, as they come up. That's why I ended up with 11 different service visits. If this thing had an oil change interval, I would have just held a couple of the issues and had them all taken care of at once. And it's also important to mention that 4 of those service visits were actually performed right here in my driveway with Tesla Mobile Service. That's a pretty unique feature to just a few brands. Tesla is really one of them, and the one that's pioneered it really well. And it's really convenient to have an issue with your car, or you even just need regular maintenance, like let's say a tire rotation, and you can have a Tesla tech show up in your driveway and take care of the service right there. Now, when you look into the total cost of ownership, which is what really matters, the Model Y is very competitive across my other cars over the years. My maintenance and repairs on my 2024 Model Y have come to $480. I also had to pay $250 for a new Pennsylvania road user charge that is specific to electrified vehicles like EVs and hybrids. Compare that to my 2020 Tiguan, which cost over $1,300 for maintenance and repairs, and my Passat, which cost just $25 in maintenance, but $465 in damage repairs because of some tire damage and alignment that was needed for that. Now, to be clear on context, I'm not including insurance or fuel in any of my numbers. Insurance is just too variable based on your history and your region, and fuel as well. It varies too much based on where you are, and for an EV, whether you charge mostly at home or on the road. So I just don't see those as being really relevant for this comparison. But I do want to note that insurance on my Model Y, even for me with a squeaky clean driving history, is considerably more than it is for my other cars. So before you go ahead and sign a lease or sign a paperwork to buy your own EV, just call your insurance agent first and get a quote. Actually, that's good advice for any car. You just never know what the insurance is going to look like. So always call your insurance agent before you commit to a contract on a new car. Now, as much as I love the Model Y, no car is perfect. And there are a couple of notable, I'd say, complaints I have about this car. First is really from my family. My wife and daughter say that the back seat on the Model Y just isn't very comfortable. And it's not really about the spaciousness or the size. It is a bit narrower door to door than our Tiguan, which has a similar footprint, but that's not the issue. It's really the contour of the seat. They feel like it's very flat and it isn't as comfortable as they would like it to be on long trips. The other issue we have is really around winter range anxiety. And I hate to say that as an EV nerd, but one of the realities I have is that we often visit family that's far enough away that we need to think about charging. Now, there's plenty of charging on the way there and back, but where they live, there's just no convenient DC fast charging. And we do stay in a hotel when we visit them. They have 2 chargers, so you can't always count on one of those being available. And it just isn't charging at their house. So I have to just think about that, especially in the wintertime. In the summertime, we don't burn that much getting there, so I have plenty of room left to do errands around town, go out with them, whatever. And then on the way back, we can simply stop at a convenient supercharger. But in the wintertime, we just use so much more energy getting there, and there just isn't a convenient place to stop in town. Now, it's not a deal breaker. It's never been an issue. It hasn't ever, been a problem with us going out of the way or getting a charge when we need to. And I think the situation is going to get better as charging is added. I'm counting on Walmart to add a charger in town. Please, that would be wonderful. And I might even spring for adding level 2 charging to my in-laws' house, which would make this a non-issue. But I think it does just add some mental tax. Again, not a reason to leave the EV at home, not a reason not to get one, but in those few times a year when we do that, it is just an extra consideration that we have to make, especially in the winter. And that brings us back to the paint. The paint on this car has just been so terrible. It's such a letdown. Now, I haven't babied it. I keep the car clean, but I do just use it. But the fact that the paint is showing wear and stains and chips already, I don't like it. So my plan is this summer to do a DIY paint correction on the car, touching up and filling in some of the rock chips, and then perhaps doing a full PPF on at least the front, if not the whole thing, here in the driveway. So if you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to do a video on it. And if anyone from Drive Protected or DIY Wrap Club is watching, hey, and you reach out if you want to collaborate, because I'd love to take my viewers along that journey. Let me know too if I should just leave it. Should I consider these marks just the patina of my adventures? They don't show up as well on camera. I do see them in plain sight on the car when I look at it, and it does annoy me, but I could also just say it's just a car. Now, I think Model Y as a model is a very special car, but any given Model Y, there's millions of these things, is just a car. So I could just let it go and deal with it. You let me know what you would do. And that sums up my 30,000 mile ownership history on my 2024 Tesla Model Y. I have taken this thing everywhere. I've put 30,000 miles on this car in about 2 years, and I don't even really commute. I just take this thing on road trips all the time. It's been from here in Philly all the way up to Maine. It's been out to Tennessee multiple times. I'm going to be taking it soon to North Carolina. We go to the Jersey Shore. We do super long day trips. I've done a day trip to the out of spec track down in North Carolina and back. Super crazy stuff, but this thing just makes me want to get in and drive. I love it, love a good road trip, and it's just been a blast. I intend to keep this thing for the long haul, and I will continue to update you on my ownership experience, and also I'll continue to update you on how the ownership costs compare to my gas vehicles. I've had both our Passat and Tiguan since new. I have the full stack of maintenance and cost for all of them, and I'm keeping the folder on the Tesla as well. So go ahead and give this video a like if you found it helpful. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to. It helps me out a lot and it doesn't cost you anything. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you on another one again soon.